I was listening to an interview today with Rich Mullins. If you're not familiar with Rich Mullins, he is a famous contemporary Christian singer and artist from the 80s and the 90s. In the interview, he was talking about God calling him in the midst of the loneliness and the pains and the emptinesses of life. So here goes Rich's words, which I thought were really worth sharing. How do you know when God is calling you to him? In my own life, for years, I tried to avoid loneliness because it hurts to feel lonely. But now I'm beginning to recognize that maybe that's what it feels like when God calls me. Maybe it hurts. Maybe when God calls us, it feels like a pain. For years in my life, I tried to drown that pain. I tried to avoid that pain. I tried to fill it with all kinds of stuff that was destroying and corrupting me. To me, listening to God calling you means to accept some of the emptiness that we have in our lives, that instead of trying to fill it with a lot of junk, we should allow the pain to be a door through which we go to meet God. All these things we try to fill, the pain, the ache, the emptiness, the needs. We all have them because we are human. But these things are ultimately met only in Jesus Christ. Everything else that we try to fill these things with that are not of Jesus, that corrupt us, will constantly keep us connected to a lifeline that keeps us tied down until we finally cut off these lifelines, like casual relationships, manipulative behavior, drunkenness, or the constant saturation of sensationalism, just to name a few. And cutting them off can be scary. We may ask ourselves, will I ever stop hurting? But my answer, Rich Mullins says, is don't worry about the hurting, but ask God to help you walk through that hurt to him. And then fill all that pain with who Jesus is to you. He is your creator, your redeemer, the lover of your soul. When you realize that not any of these or those other lifelines will love you unconditionally, like your Father in heaven loves you, and he loves you because, or he loves you like this through the sacrifice of his son, Jesus. When you realize all of this, you will be free. You'll be free to love God back. You will have peace in the midst of the hurts and empty times in your life. You will have joy. Now, this joy is not substances or earthly wealth. This kind of joy, that's just temporary. It's disguised joy. This joy that you will feel from God is eternal because it's from him. So not only will you have the freedom to love God back, you will have peace in the midst of your hurts. You will have the joy from God. Finally, you will have freedom. This is some food for thought from Rich Mullins.